Okay, children. So we were discussing about the key features of Indian Constitution, and we have seen that federalism, parliamentary form of government, separation of powers. Okay, then fundamental rights and secularism. Okay, these are the key features of Indian Constitution. What does federalism means?
The existence of more than
one
level of government.
Okay, so in India we have 3 different levels of government. Okay, then parliamentary form of government. What do you mean by parliamentary form of government?
No.
A different
People have the power to choose their
On a representative.
representatives. Okay, so in India we know that universal adult franchise is guaranteed. Okay, it guarantees equality. All adults are allowed to vote. Okay, irrespective of their social and economic background. And separation of powers. What do you mean by separation of powers? Power is being separated through the different organs of the government. Which are the 3 different organs of our government?
legislature,
Judiciary and executive. Okay, and legislature, it refers to the law-making body which consists of the elected representatives. Okay, then executive.
They will implement.
Group of people who are responsible to implement these laws. Okay.
running the government.
Yes. And judiciary, it refers to the system of courts which checks the laws. Okay. Which checks the laws made by the legislature. Okay, so these are the 3 different organs of the government, and we have gone through the fundamental rights. Okay, Article 12 to 35. Okay, of our Constitution, which deals with the fundamental rights. Some rights are guaranteed by our Constitution. As a citizen of India, we can enjoy all these rights. Okay, and the right to equality. What does it mean?
All persons are equal before
All are equal before the law, or all are equally protected by the law. Okay, then no one is being discriminated on the basis of their color, gender, religion. Okay, so, yes. Okay, then all public places can be accessible to each and every citizen. Untouchability has been abolished. Okay, so these are the provisions of right to equality. Article 15 of our Constitution, which deals equality or which maintain equality. Okay, then what do you mean by right to freedom?
right to freedom of speech and expression.
Yes. Okay, that is the most important feature. Right to freedom of opinion. Okay, we can share our opinion about anything. Yes. Okay, right to form association. Yes. We are free to move anywhere. We are free to move and reside anywhere in our country. Okay, so we have the right to we are free to live in our country. Okay, then the next one, right against exploitation. Okay, so the Constitution prevents exploitation. Like, some people are being exploited by some others. Okay, human trafficking, illegal trade of human. Okay, then forced labor, child labor. Okay, so that is right against exploitation. Is it clear to you, children?
Yes.
Okay, then next is right to freedom of religion. We are free to choose our religion. We can practice, we can profess, we can propagate any religion of our choice. Okay, by birth, sometimes we belongs to one religion. If we want to convert to another religion, it's also possible. We are free to choose our religion. We can practice our religion, we can profess, and we can preach. Okay, then right to cultural and educational rights. So minorities, okay, that means religious wise or in language wise. Okay, religious wise means Hindus are more in India, minorities are Muslims, Christians. Okay, there were many other religious groups, they were termed as minorities. And religious wise, sorry, linguistic language. Okay, some languages was being spoken by only less people. Okay, were following some languages. There are 22 languages which was adopted here in India. Majority of the Indian people, they speak Hindi. Okay, I think more than 40% of people, they were using Hindi. Okay, so we have adopted Hindi as our national language, but some languages, okay, it is not being spoken by many people. Okay, so in order to develop their language, their culture, they can set up educational institution. Do you understand that point, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then last one, right to constitutional remedies. So if any of these fundamental right, okay, if it is being violated either by the state or by an individual, okay, we can have the chance to approach to the court. Okay, we can approach the court. So we know the vaccination, many problems regarding, or sometimes many policies of the government, you know, it disrupts the life of the people. So in that case, we can approach to the court of any such fundamental rights if it is being violated, either by the government policy or by an individual, we can approach to the court. Okay, then in addition to these fundamental rights, the Constitution provides another set of principles, okay, guidelines, that is directive principle of state policy that we haven't discussed, isn't it, children?
Yes,
Now, come to this one, children. So the fundamental rights, okay, we know that it is guaranteed. As a citizen, we are free. We are free to live in our country and we can enjoy the fundamental rights. Okay, so children, Article 12 to 35, this fundamental rights, Article 12 to 35 of our Constitution, it deals with the fundamental rights. Okay, and 35 to 51, it deals with the directive principles of state policy. 36 to 51. Article 36 to 51, it deals with the directive principles of state policy. Okay, and we borrowed, I have told you, children, we have borrowed some ideas from other constitution. Okay, so this directive principles of state policy, our constitution, okay, we borrowed it from the Irish constitution, whereas this Irish people, they have took it from the Spanish constitution. Okay, so we have borrowed the directive principle of state policy, or DPSP. DPSP, that is the short form, Directive Principles of State Policy. Article 36 to 51, it explains the directive principles of state policy. We have adopted this ideal from the Irish Constitution. And you know, children, fundamental rights and directive principle, it both are different. Okay, it's not the same. Fundamental rights, it's mainly of political reasons. Okay, that means if any such rights which are guaranteed by our constitution, we can enjoy all that rights, mainly related to the political areas, okay, or concern. But this, you know, children, it's mainly due to the economic and the social reforms. So the directive principle of, this is very important, children. The directive principles of state policy, it includes, okay, it includes some guidelines for our government related to the economic and social reforms. No need to write this all, children. Just for an example, just for you, for some example, I just took this slide. You know, children, the economic and social reforms, we know the condition of India during the time of independence. India was poor. Okay, economic standard was very low because of the exploitation by the Britishers. Okay, so in order to recover India from the poor financial condition, government has introduced many plans. Okay, so if the government, if they wanted to introduce a law which can be helpful, directive principle of the state policy. Okay, children, just note down the points in the textbook, page number 14. You have the textbook with you, Afridi? The cam is okay. What's your textbook? Mark the sentence. Page number 14, last paragraph. In addition to the fundamental rights, the Constitution also has a section called Directive
Hello,
Principles
ma'am.
of State Policy. Hello?
I don't have my textbook right now.
Okay. Then it was designed by the members of the Constituent Assembly to ensure, underline children, greater social and economic reforms and to serve as a guide to the independent Indian state to institute laws and policies that helps to reduce the poverty of the masses. So during the time of independence, India's economic condition was very poor. So to eradicate poverty or to give importance to the social and the economic reforms, the government has introduced directive principles of state policy. It includes some guidelines. Okay, it includes some guidelines to make laws regarding the economic and social reforms. You know, children, this all will come under this. That means equal justice and free legal aid to the poor, mainly to help the poor people, farmers, workers. Okay, then right to work, education, and public assistance for
Ma'am, I
unemployment.
have a doubt, ma'am.
Ask me.
Ma'am,
Afridi.
tomorrow the exam will start now.
Mm.
And then the classes annual will be there tomorrow also.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Exam, I think 7 o'clock, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So regular classes are there and evening 7 o'clock you need to complete your exam. Okay, attend your exam. Okay, so children, this is mainly regarding the social and the economic reforms. Okay, that means to help the poor people, workers, unemployed people, and maternity leave. What is maternity leave?
For some
Pregnancy,
women are government offices.
they provide them leave.
Yes, paid leave. Okay, paid leave. Yeah. Then decent standard of life, the standard of living of the people, just make it develop. Okay, so workers. So this is about mainly. So just think about fundamental rights. It is the rights which is given to the people. Directive principles of state policy, it is the different one. It is a guideline, okay, for the government to frame laws regarding the economic and social reforms. Is it clear, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so Article 12 to 35, it deals with fundamental right. 36 to 51, it deals with the directive principle of state policy. Just note these sentence, children, mainly regarding the economic and the social reforms. Okay, there are some guidelines which is given in our constitution for the economic and the social reforms. That is the directive principles of state policy. To eradicate poverty. Okay, now we will move on to the last key feature, that is secularism. Okay, children, we have discussed about the official language, okay, Hindi, and we have officially declared many things, okay, but do India did it have any official religion? Huh? No. Yes. Okay. So children, India is a secular state. Okay, which means that the state does not officially promote any one religion. We are not giving any priority or any consideration. Yeah.
Ma'am, can you please increase the size of it?
Children, we do not promote any, we are not giving any consideration to any particular religion. Okay, that is meant by secularism. India is a secular state. Do you know, children, what about Pakistan? Huh?
What about
Huh?
democratic country?
It is a democratic country, but it has officially declared
It does not
Islam as I mean the official religion. And you know, children, some European countries, Britain, Christianity. Okay, so some countries officially they declared one particular religion as their national religion or official religion. Okay, but India, it is a secular state which does not promote any particular religion as state religion. Okay, we do not have any importance or priority to any particular religion. We are considering all religious people as equal, or all religion are giving equal status. We are not giving any priority or any official status to any particular religion. Okay, that is meant by secularism or secular state. Is it clear, children?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That is secularism. We do not accept any religion as official religion or any, we are not giving any official status to any particular religion. All religious people are considering as equal here. We are not considering. We will study about secular state or secularism in the next chapter, a detailed
What is
chapter.
the meaning of secularism? And what is the meaning of that?
Which means the state does not officially promote any one religion as the state religion. That is the meaning.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. India is a secular state means that all religion or all religious people are equal. They are considering us equal here in our country. We are not giving any priority to any one particular religion. Clear? Okay, children. Then page number 13. Okay. So children, in a column, just see the word state. Okay. See children, we use the term state to refer about a government. Okay, that means a state. Sorry?
30.
Page
number 30.
Ah, yes, yes. Page number 30. In a blue column, it is given. Okay. So children, we often uses the term state, right? Okay. And sometimes we will use the term state to represent a government. Isn't it, children? State government. Yes. So government is responsible for administrating and enforcing laws and can change with election. Isn't it, children?
Yes.
That means we will choose one particular political party or they will form the government, and sometimes next election comes, they will not get the power. Isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. It can be changed. Okay. But here we use the term state to represent a sovereign people who occupy a definite territory. That means the people of that country or area. That means Indian state, Nepali state. Okay. That means that the people who occupies a definite territory. That means the people, those who were there living in that particular locality or territory. Okay, there may be referred as state here. Okay, so we will use the term state to represent the government, but here we use a secular state. Okay, and we use the term to speak about the people who occupies a particular territory. Just underline the sentence in the textbook, page number 13. One, two, three, four, five. Sixth line. Political institution that represent a sovereign people who occupy a definite territory.
And what do they mean by sovereign people?
No, it's see glossary. Can you check the glossary? Independent people, sovereign, polity. There are some meanings which is given in the last page of this textbook, page number 17. Okay, just go through that. Okay, so children, we have completed our chapter, and do you have any doubt in any of the points? And notes, already I have sent the completed notes, only a few questions. But one more question is there, that is explain the fundamental rights. Okay, but the answer is clearly given in the textbook, page number 14. Do I need to send it through the WhatsApp or you will write from the textbook?
Can you say which line? Which line?
Can you?
Can you tell us which one is the answer so that we can...
Question I will tell you. Are you asking for the question?
No, ma'am, the answer and the question both. The answer we can mark it in the text.
Ah, yes, yes. Write down the question there, page number 14. Explain